This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for building a cool-looking and professional website. Today, my epic tour of Italy to hunt for dream homes and dream food brings me to the capital of the Renaissance, Florence, a city whose fame precedes it. As we did in Venice, I'm embarking on an adventure to discover its hottest food spots. Florence is a foodie's heaven with restaurants both traditional as well as novel. Do you also eat the third, second, and first?
Everything.
As for the homes for sale, I found two gems. One apartment from the Belle Epoque with frescoed ceilings, and the other a time capsule directly from the Renaissance. An apartment in one of the most important palazzi of Florence. An unbelievable find. Andiamo. Buongiorno, I am in Florence, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's a city that presents itself. I don't even know why I'm here telling you about it. I should just show you images. It's really a symbol of Italy, this city. And so I want to see what it has to offer, not only in terms of the dream homes, but did you know that Florence is a type of a mecca for Tuscan food? So we're going to try that out, and I'm going to show you a bit of the city. So let's go explore. Florence, the capital of Tuscany, is separated in two by the river Arno, and crossing it is one of its architectural icons. All right, so we're on Ponte Vecchio. This is the old bridge of Florence. Back in the Roman times when they had to construct a bridge going into a new city, they always chose a central point which led right into the Forum, or what is now called a piazza. And this is why it's called Ponte Vecchio. It's the old bridge. When they started building new bridges, they said this was the old one. That's how the name stuck. It's very characteristic because almost like the old London Bridge, it's known for having these shops all on either side. They're typically selling jewelry here, but there are some other shops that sell other things. And it's just a very scenic point where lots of people take their pictures over the bridge, looking at either side of the river with all the beautiful facades that are there. At the heart of the city is the renowned Piazza della Signoria, one of Italy's most iconic squares and certainly one of the most visited by travelers, and for a good reason. It's dominated by the 13th century Palazzo Vecchio, with its characteristic bell tower, the Torre di Arnolfo. Interesting fact, this was the parliament building of the Kingdom of Italy until, of course, Rome was taken. At its entrance, we have replicas of the statues of Hercules and Cacus by Baccio Bandinelli and this random one by some unimportant sculptor. To the left of the palazzo stands another masterpiece. Built on order of one of the richest men in Europe during the Renaissance, Cosimo de' Medici, we have the monumental Fountain of Neptune. Despite its grandeur, this public fountain was used for everyday needs like collecting water, rinsing food, and washing clothes. But turn around and you'll be facing yet another Renaissance marvel. The Loggia dei Lanzi is definitely one of the highlights of Piazza della Signoria. It's an open-air gallery with stunning sculptures like Cellini's Perseus with the head of Medusa, Menelaus in Patroclus, and other notable works depicting scenes from Greek mythology. The entrance is guarded by two lions representing the Medici family. Our next stop brings us to a monument that needs no introduction, one of the most visited in the world. I am in front of Santa Maria del Fiore, the cathedral, the Duomo of Florence, the most recognizable landmark of Florence, and probably one of the symbols of the Renaissance. It was built by Filippo Brunelleschi, or at least architected by him, because it took them 200 years to complete it. Started in the 200s, finished in the 1400s. And the cupola is one of the biggest cement and brick walls in the world. It's octagonal, so it has 8 sides. And next to the cupola of St. Peter in Rome, it's one of the biggest in the world and definitely one of the most impressive. So I love Florence because it's a beautiful city to be in, it's gorgeous to walk around, and overall it's just an aesthetic experience. Well, I wanted to tell you about today's sponsor, Squarespace, an online website building platform that builds the equivalent of a Florence, but in website form. You start by choosing a template or using their Blueprint AI. which is state-of-the-art technology allowing you to build a website with the help of AI. All of the templates are aesthetic and they're all perfect for whatever activity or passion your project would be about. You can personalize your website by choosing your own font, your own color palette. You can also open up your own web shop by easily adding products, prices, and pipelines. So check out Squarespace by using the link in the description below for a free trial. And when you're ready to purchase or publish your website or domain, use my code JustDreamItaly to get 10% off.
Che mi importa se sono pelo di carota, meglio aver la testa rossa che la testa tutta vuota. Che mi importa se ho un nasino dispettoso, non nasconder che è per questo che ti piaccio, piaccio.
Florence is a city that has an embarrassingly large amount of food options, and so for the culinary aspects of the video today, I've decided to put myself in the hands of an expert, a guide who's going to be meeting us here in this square. Marco.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Marco.
to meet you as well. Marco. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Marco is an expert guide for Do Eat Better Experience, a network that organizes food tours in cities across Italy. He convinced me to start our visits today with a Florentine breakfast, a glass of red wine.
It's called a fiaschetteria. So fiaschetteria in Italian, you can translate with flask. It used to be a place where you were only able to buy wine by the bottle and by the flask. We are at our first stop, Fratelli Zanobini. This is an establishment since at least 3 or 4 generations.
One can easily get lost among the endless selection of wines in Fratelli Zanobini, so we concentrated and opted for Tuscany's most iconic.
So Chianti Classico, it can be produced only within 8 districts between Florence and Siena. It needs to have at least 80% of the Sangiovese grape. It's a dry wine. Here we like our wine dry. Cheers!
Cheers. Cheers to that. Chin chin.
Having downed our first glass of wine, we were primed to take on Florence's best restaurants. At this point, I realized I was in for something special.
Okay, here we are.
La Gratella.
La Gratella. And as you can see, is a trattoria. Trattoria used to be a place where you will go to eat traditional food and you were allowed to bring your own wine. But now you don't need to bring anything.
No.
We've got you covered.
Just your wallet.
Just your wallet, your credit card.
One is called pici. Pici is a thick spaghetti from Siena and is made with just flour, salt, nothing more. No eggs, no eggs. So it's very simple, very light, and it comes sweet. In this case, with a Tuscan black cabbage and guanciale.
Okay. Yeah, so the guanciale gives it a whole nother level, I think.
A little kick. And here we have, it looks like a ravioli, but it's not. It's a tortello mugellano. It's like a pig, the ravioli, but inside there are some mashed potatoes.
Oh,
With parmesan.
wow.
On a Tuscan ragu. Alright, what's the main difference between a Tuscan ragu and a Bolognese ragu? Like a Tuscan ragu, usually it's heavier on red ones.
So I really like the sauce. I can taste the difference from like a bolognese, like a typical ragu. It is a bit more
Non
intense.
sei certo bello tu e non sei pieno di virtù. Mi disprezzi ma si sa chi disprezza comprerà. Che mi importa se
This is the most traditional street food of Florence. It's something unique.
Something unique.
Something you won't find anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
Maybe for a reason.
I don't know.
I don't think.
I don't
think it's excellent. But I'm not gonna tell you what's inside.
Okay.
Have a bite and tell me what you think. So what do you...
So it's peppery.
Peppery?
It's fatty. It's good. I think the sauce is what gives it its flavor. I'm not sure if the meat itself has a lot of flavor, but the sauce is
Lampredotto. Lampredotto. Lampredotto.
So the famous Lampredotto.
Famous Lampredotto.
Okay.
It's the fourth stomach of the cow. Cows have four stomachs.
Okay.
That's the fourth.
And this is the fourth.
This is the fourth.
Do you also eat the third, second, and third?
Everything.
So I have the strange sensation of digesting another stomach inside of my stomach. And so I think the next stop has to include a glass of wine to erase that memory.
It's like a vicious circle. Stomach after stomach after stomach.
Right, it's the mirror inside a mirror that
Yes.
it's an illusion. So what do we have here?
Awesome. This is a sacred moment.
Okay.
So the beauty of the schiacciata is that you can fill it up with whatever you want. The options are countless. In this case, I want you to try prosciutto. This one is with prosciutto.
Okay.
Pecorino cheese, and fig jam.
So the bread texture is, in fact, it's crunchy.
It's
Has a bit more of a
crunchy.
crunch to it.
Exactly.
It's warm. And then there's the sweet contrast with the saltiness of the prosciutto and pecorino.
Exactly.
Very, very good.
And this one is with brie cheese, salad, and finocchiona. Which is one of our most famous cold cuts here in Florence. Finocchiona is a salami cured with fennel seeds.
Fennel seeds, okay.
Buono, eh?
Buone ragazzi.
We're in a trattoria Coccolezzone from the 1800s. So it's got 226 years, which for Italy is like yesterday.
Here we have the ribollita,
Thank you.
and here it is the papa al pomodoro.
Great, thank you.
So what we have here, two stews, very simple stews. We have ribollita, which means boiled over. It's a vegetable stew, usually with the cannellini beans, carrots, Tuscan cabbage. And the other one, it's papa al pomodoro, and it's made only with fresh tomatoes, basil, and olive oil. They both have a little bit of a stale bread inside.
Let's see. It looks like baby food. It's
It
something
looks
that
like
you
baby
kind of,
food,
crush
but
up and- So it tastes like tomato
tomatoes.
sauce. It's
See,
like
it's
tomato sauce.
like
It's
tomato
tomato
sauce, but it's thicker than
Very
a tomato
simple.
sauce. It's like a rich and very simple.
This is really
That's
good.
good. That's comfort
This is
food.
really
That's
good. Wow, this is very good. Really, really good. Maybe
Okay.
something to drink now after.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking of.
So on the way to our final location, we decided to stop at one of Florence's famous wine windows, where you ring a bell and they conveniently hand you a glass of wine to enjoy.
Imagine that we have more than 160 wine windows here in Florence.
And to cap things off, we opted for a dessert and another famous Tuscan staple.
Biscotti in Italian means double baked. So when you bake something double, twice, you take all the moisture out and they become very hard. With Vinsanto.
Vinsanto.
Vinsanto. So Vinsanto, it's a dessert wine. And that's the perfect marriage.
And then we'll dip
That's-
this in.
That comes the fun part.
They don't have that really super hardness, which break your teeth.
See?
There's like a little bit of chewiness to it.
You don't have to pay your dentist. Let's say they're cheaper on your dentist.
So I want to give a huge shout out to Do Eat Better Experiences, who organized the food tour. Big thank you to Marco as well, who was great. If you're interested in food tours in Florence or in other cities in Italy or Europe, check them out. We, on the other hand, are going to keep on checking out Florence. Andiamo. right, so we've made it to the first home that we're seeing today, an elegant apartment in this extremely elegant palazzo from the turn of the century, Liberty Belle Époque style. We're in the neighborhood between Orticoltura and Piazza della Vittoria. Right behind me is the beautiful river Mugnone, from which you will have a view from this balcony above. This is a residential neighborhood right outside the historic center of Florence, a very elegant neighborhood, and I think this property keeps up this style of elegance. So let's go inside and see. All right, guys, welcome to the first home visit of today. We're right outside the historic center of Florence, although we will head back in for the second home tour of today. I wanted to show you this property because it is in a noble neighborhood built right around the turn of the century, the end of the 1800s, the beginning of the 1900s. And this is a property which is currently being used as a B&B. So I have lots of people giving me requests, well, can I buy a property, use it as a B&B, maybe live in it, rent out some rooms? Well, that's what this property is currently being used as. So in terms of the numbers, let's say, it's being sold for 846,000 euros. It's around 150 square meters of total space, 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. We'll start off with a bit of the layout. So when you walk into this area, you can see the kitchen behind me. There's 2 bedrooms, one of which is currently occupied. So they're out of the 5 bedrooms, 2 are occupied, 3 are free. So I'm going to show you the 3 that are free, and hopefully I'll get some photos and overlay it on the video because they're essentially the same as the other 3 bedrooms. However, let's start with the kitchen area, then I'll take you into the bedrooms. Walking this way, this is the balcony going out to the front of the property. So you walk out into this balcony, you have a beautiful view of the channel going out in front and just this really like noble feeling to it. This is the kitchen, so it's set up as a B&B. There's lots of waters currently here. You know, your guests come out, they'll have their cafe in the morning before they hop out and explore Florence, and a kitchenette here with a ceramic stovetop, all electric. There's no gas in this property. And obviously, something very special about the property, one characteristic, a noble characteristic, let's say, is the frescoed ceiling. So these are the original frescoes from the turn of the century, end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, and it's very, like, let's say, Liberty style, Belle Époque style, which has its charm without a doubt. Obviously, for a B&B, you also need storage space, and so we have these massive closets. Let me start showing you the bedrooms, however. So, like I said, that one's being occupied. There's this one, and the frescoes aren't limited to the kitchen that way. We also have the frescoes in every single one of the bedrooms. This is the type of property that I think a lot of visitors of Florence want to experience because you have a certain feel of Florence, right? Florence is an elegant city, and this is a really elegant property. Here you have the view. This is the same view that you had out front from the balcony in that kitchen area. Regarding climate, it's all via heat pumps, and so it's all electric, so there's no gas in the property. It's done via air conditioning, AC, which also has hot air. So this is the bathroom number 1, let's say, for bedroom number 1. As you can see, the renovation was very recent, and it was done to a very high quality, nice polish to it. You have the heated towel racks as well, just a complete bathroom for an elegant experience during this stay in Florence. Obviously, going this way, we have, this will be bedroom number 3. This was the one that's occupied. This is bedroom number 3, so we'll have a look at this one. Same format that we had in the other bedroom that way. So we start off with, this opens the door up. I thought that was the bathroom. But anyways, this is the bathroom right over here. So bathroom this way. This bathroom has a window going into the inside court. This is the beautiful LED-lit mirror, which is very nice. Just, you know, same format, same types of style of tiles. The floors stay the same throughout the property, so very nice. We'll come back out. Got mixed up with the doors there. Anyways, this is bedroom number 2. You can see that the layout is a bit different because we have kind of a separate area for the desk, But of course, you know, the bedroom style is the same. Here we don't have frescoes. The ceilings though are as high as in the rest of the property. And these are windows that are looking out into the backside of the property, kind of this internal courtyard. Obviously, this property is being sold fully furnished, right? And so that's an important note that I wanted to make. Oftentimes, you know, I show properties and it's not being sold furnished, but if you're buying this Airbnb, you're getting the property that's in it as well. So it's really the activity has already been started. You would basically, the property would become yours and you would take over the property. So an interesting proposition for somebody who likes that concept. So walking through this way, this is the other bedroom, which is being occupied at the moment, but similar style to the ones that we're seeing. And this is the last bedroom. So this one has more of a peach and orange tone to it, the peach and orange room. This one, once again, does have frescoes up top, very nice. Also, very nice chandeliers, the way they have that set up. And this has a little balcony going out into the back, which is very pleasant. So the other room didn't have that. This also has a bathroom, and so I'll show you that. So, bathroom is over this way. Same bathroom that we had in the other ones, the same style. Everything's very uniform. It's very coherent, including the floor. So you have the same. These are high quality laminate floors all throughout the property. Obviously, you can replace them if you don't like them, but if you do like them, you keep them. I think they're really gorgeous. I thought they were wood walking in. So very high quality floors. They match with the doors and the trimmings, and the trimmings going along the skirtings of the walls. And so I think all of the details are here. It's been perfectly renovated, and it's a very interesting proposition for somebody looking for this type of property. Now let's go see property number 2 in the Centro Storico of Florence. Okay, so we've made it to the second property that we're seeing today. We're back in the historic center of Florence, Firenze. And whereas the first one, I think, gave us a glimpse into the turn of the century elegant Florence, this gives us more of an insight into the Renaissance Florence. So we're right around the corner from Santa Croce. And this palazzo is a palazzo from the 1300s, 1400s, has lots of history. It's one of the most well-known palazzi of Florence. And the first floor apartment that we're seeing today is right inside here. Okay, so we've made it into the palazzo. This is a palazzo from the 1400s most likely, and it belonged to a noble family, one of those very rich, let's say, noble families of the Renaissance, for which Florence is so known. And so being of that time period, it obviously reflects architecturally what was so stylistically important, right, for those schools of architecture of those times. And that includes also having inside the palazzo this beautiful courtyard, and you see on the back walls the stems of the noble family. So these are probably from the 1500s. These paintings are still there. Just beautiful amounts of light being let in, and the rest of the palazzo keeps up the same standard, let's say, of this Renaissance theme. So lots of arches, lots of crisscrossing vaults on the palazzo, and we're on the first floor. So I'm going to take you up and give you a little bit of history, I guess, as we're walking up. So in a palazzo like this one, you have, turn on the lights, you have lots of historical descriptions. And some of the descriptions that you get from this palazzo were from people doing the grand tour of Italy, of Southern Europe, from Northern Europe, which so happened during the 1800s and 1900s. And so we have lots of descriptions, beautiful descriptions, specifically about this palazzo. If you go to Wikipedia, Palazzo Libri, there's a description written on it. So this is a very important palazzo from the in the historical center of Florence. So this is the type of property that we're looking at here. So come this way, you'll see this is a slightly arched hallway. So this is a huge arch, and so this is obviously the palazzo is not one big historical family home at the moment. It's been broken off into different little apartments, but each of which contain their historical characteristics. And the property that we'll be looking at is over this way. So we keep on walking through. Obviously, when you're in a property like this, it almost feels like you're in a castle. So you have to walk up downstairs. The floors beneath you just are solid stone. This is a scala chiocciola, it's called. So a spiral staircase going up and down in stone. So it's almost like a castle. Walk this way. And our unit within this castle palazzo is right here. Okay, so we've made it up into this apartment. So this is a very special apartment because it's as if you're living in the Renaissance. So it's a palazzo from the Renaissance, from this noble family, Palazzo Libri. This apartment was originally the kitchen for the whole palazzo. So this was the kitchen, this whole space where the kitchen staff would be cooking up meals, preparing banquets for the family, and now it's your own apartment. But like I said, it's like you're living in the Renaissance because what we have are all of the original characteristics of that period. Nothing has been changed. There's been a few slight updates just for modern amenities, but we have the original ceilings. So these beams going across, crisscrossing in this beautiful pattern. We have the cotto floors, this typical Tuscan brick floors, and the furniture is also antique furniture, and it's being sold with the property. So let me start by showing you each and every corner of it. The asking price, first let me start with that, 420,000 euros. It's about 77 square meters of total space, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and we have this big living area right here, the sitting area. So this, let's start here. This is the living room. So you have a couple of chairs, you have the couch, and you have these windows. These windows are looking out onto the street below that goes into the main entrance that we came up from. So a nice chill area, very nice. You can see even the bookshelves on the walls. This is just fascinating. This is the old wood. These were already here, right? And this is where they would be storing the items in copper and in tin that they'd be using on the actual stoves and of the kitchen. Another interesting aspect of it is you have this door. So you might think, oh, what is this, like a closet? But no, it's not only a closet, now it's a closet, but you can see we have this lever, which you would turn, and this is a bit of an elevator situation. So you would cook the meals, you'd put it on this kind of pulley system, and this would go up. It's tied to a string, and it goes up to the floors where you would have the dining rooms. And so now it's closed off. It doesn't work that way. It's a closet, but this piece of history, let's say, is enshrined in the actual space here. So it's just really fascinating. A couple practical things. So you have the heating. It has heating. There's actually air conditioning as well. So you can control the temperature during the different seasons. Let me show you now this area. This is the original stovetops. So this is how they used to cook back in Renaissance time, the 1400s, the 1500s, 1600s, probably up until the 1800s, before the modern invention of stoves as we know them. You would heat up wood underneath here, and you put boiling pots on top, and that's how you would heat up your meals. Sometimes you would have even an oven where you'd be baking your bread or making stews. You just throw it in there, you have wood. You would store wood underneath here, and you'd burn it accordingly. And this hasn't been moved, right? This hasn't been changed. Just a fascinating piece of history here in the heart of Florence. So from there, we have what we're using the kitchen, what is the kitchen today. And so you have this little wall which has been built here, this dividing wall, and we have a kitchenette here on this corner. And the most special part isn't the kitchenette, it's actually this sink. And so the marble from this sink is actually the original marble from the 1400s. This has always been here, and it's just another priceless piece of inbuilt furniture in this home, just a piece of history, right? So gorgeous. We have another one of the windows looking out onto the streets on this side. And we have here on the walls kind of some of the utensils, pots and pans that were hanging on the wall that you'd be using on the stove. So very interesting, very beautiful. It's all being sold furnished. So I think that's fascinating. Now let's go into the bedroom. Excuse me. So the bedroom is interesting as well because we have the same revealed beams going back and forth, but revealed stone on this side of the property, and just really a beautiful feel to it. We have the cotto floors. We have lots of space, but also we have light coming in from the outside. So coming this way, see beautiful table here. This is the internal courtyard, let's call it, of the property. And so you can open it up and lots of air can come in, lots of natural light is let into this bedroom as well. So there's that. And the bathroom is here in the back as well. So this is the bathroom, and it comes with toilet, bidet, washer dryer, and the hot water up top. So, and there's a shower in the back behind this door. So you have a shower. So guys, this is the property in the heart of Florence. I hope you liked these two property tours. I hope you enjoyed viewing Florence. Like, subscribe, comment below. What did you like seeing? Where do you want me to go next? Obviously, if you're interested in finding a home in Italy, write to me, Marco at justdreamitaly.com. Check out our website. And if you haven't yet, check out my Patreon. If you like what I do on this channel, it supports me, and I appreciate it a lot. Ciao, guys. See you next time.